My name is Chad Fothergill. I'm the Secretary Registrar of the Mid-Atlantic chapter of the American Guild of Organists Young Organists group. And we're here at the Gabriel Ney organ of First and Central Presbyterian Church in Wilmington, Delaware. So I grew up in rural Wisconsin, and my sense of a professional musician when I was in high school was that one could either be a professional choral conductor or a band director, basically in teaching high school. And it wasn't until a summer program at Valparaiso University in Indiana where I was able to play the organ in the chapel there and was really exposed to professional sort of organ study and things that one could do studying theory, history, other instrumental performance. So early on in college, I learned that there was a lot of really neat potential for combining my interest in playing and my interest in history, in German, and I took German for a couple of years. And so when I went to grad school, I actually started as a teaching assistant for the musicology program while doing a master's degree in organ performance. And that was a really exciting time to think about how one's other interests intersected with one's playing. I think I first noticed the interests combining when I took organ literature, and we did a special topics course about Buxtehude and Rhetoric, and thinking about how reading these different treatises and sermons influenced the way one sits down to play these pieces, and learning that the room, the colors of the instrument were all part of this idea of a sermon in sound, this fantastic style, or stilus fantasticus. I also remember learning a lot about Bach as one who went around testing new organs, and so when you look at his music and think about some of the gestures and these big chords that he uses to start with the G minor fantasy, you think that he's just trying to check all the parts, make sure there's enough wind, that the organ has good lungs. That was a term that appeared in some of his documents for once he had evaluated an instrument. The fast passages, he's checking to make sure the action works. Really, there's no limit to what you can combine with your interest in playing. If you're interested in foreign languages, there are a lot of treatises that we still need to translate that talk about how instruments were played, how someone heard a certain instrument at a given place and time. For instance, in Baroque Germany, there are a lot of Orgelpredigt, or organ sermons, that still need to be translated. They've all been digitized and are uploaded at various libraries, just waiting. And so one of the goals of the American Guild of Organists Young Organist chapters is to help our members think really creatively about what they can do with all of their varied interests. A lot of music of the late medieval through the Renaissance into the Baroque period was actually formed from a rhetorical standpoint, where you have different parts of speech that correspond to different sections of the music. This happens in some of the fantasias of Sweelinck. And you also have later into the 17th and 18th century composers like Buxtehude, whose music is constructed from a sense of the position of an orator who's giving a speech. So there might be a very dramatic opening followed by the presentation of an argument, maybe a counter argument, and then a really dramatic conclusion that brings it all home.